Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of two idiots answering your questions about the expansive Star Trek universe. The views expressed in this podcast are exclusively our own, not influenced by the Borg or a Romulan thoughtmaker. Trekkie and a half is not suitable for human children, but we assume Vulcans are fine. Grab your comm badge and tricorder, jump into Warp 6, and boldly go where no podcast has gone before. Thank you for listening. Live long and prosper.
Hey there, I'm Alex.
Hi there, I'm TJ. Welcome to Trekkie and a Half.
And it's a very special day, but we'll get to that in a second. What happened today, on this day in Trek, TJ?
On this day in Trek, that's a very good question. It's February 13th today. So in the year 2154, so stardate 21454, a plasma gunshot wound kills MACO officer Josh Hayes. And that's an Enterprise. So that's kind of morbid. That's not really the tone
That's kind
I
of
wanted to
sad
set.
for what we're doing right now. Good job choosing a morbid one.
Oh no, I have, on the 14th, the most romantic day of the year, stardate 2154, the Xindi kill MACO officer Forbes. So it's just a lot of,
Yeah, not a lot of happy things.
the survival
this
rate
week in Trek.
of MACO officers.
Fuck.
Mako.
Yeah, no, they seem to have a really low survivability rate.
Yeah, they're the
Shit.
red shirts of Enterprise.
That's really unfortunate. You know you gotta mess up to be the red shirts. So it's getting close to at least one of our favorite holidays.
That classic Earth holiday, Valentine's
Day.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah. And it's just a good time for everyone who isn't full of crippling loneliness, but you know.
If you're a human, it's a wonderful time. If you're
Yes.
an alien, you might be wondering
What's
what all the
Valentine's
humans are getting
Day?
on about.
Well, we're here to tell you it's where you buy your special someone or someones flowers and chocolates and maybe a stuffed animal or two, and you take them out for a nice dinner and you just have a good time. Or sometimes you just stay in and watch Netflix, which is really good too.
Now, see, according to I don't think that Valentine's Day is ever mentioned in Star Trek.
Once.
A bunch of other holidays are, which is kind of sad because it's the sweetest holiday. If there was a holiday I would want to share with extraterrestrials, it would be Valentine's Day.
Exactly. So many good times. I would share a Valentine's Day with an alien if I could.
There's so many different mating rituals.
Please tell me about them, TJ.
Mating rituals.
Tell me about
There's
these
so
mating
many.
rituals. Getting raunchy.
Everybody
randy.
knows about Ponfar and Plaktow, which is
Even I know about Ponfar.
sort of Vulcans, getting it on.
Yeah, if I'm understanding this correctly, they get so horny they can die.
No, they can definitely die. It happens every 7 years of an adult male Vulcan's life. So it's sort of like a cycle. It's sort of like, I don't know
A period, but for Vulcan males that can
Yeah, it's
kill
every
them.
7 years. And no, they can die because it's just so much strain on their body. Because the interesting thing about Vulcans, and I think about Romulans and Vulcans a lot because definitely one of the more interesting species, I'll say that. But the interesting thing about Vulcans is that the reason they have Ponfar, and I don't believe Romulans do, because the thing about Vulcans is that they've suppressed their emotions so much in order to make way for their philosophy.
They're just so repressed. They're just shaking.
They repress their sexuality so much. Well, it's not that they repress sexuality, it's just that they treat it like a ritual, like it's a thing that they have to do. It's not like a thing that they... Like, Romulans, they're sort of... They
angry.
fuck whenever. they fuck
They don't
whenever.
have a set schedule.
They don't have a schedule of fucking, because they have reached this level. Romulans don't care. They express their emotions.
See, here's what I'm thinking, if I may interrupt for a second.
Okay, alright.
A very early Starfleet human, and a Vulcan land on Romulus. And the humans just
unlikely, but go on.
Yeah, let's say hypothetically,
okay.
Where everyone's chill with each other, and they turn around, and the Vulcans are like kind of jumpy, because they're on Romulus, and they just turn around and they just see people straight doing the getting randy with it in the streets. In the streets, it is chaos.
I don't know about that. I don't know, because like a lot of the thing about Romulans is that they literally are just so kind of, I don't want to say aggressive, but they're definitely grumpy, almost to spite Vulcans, because Vulcans turn around and we're like, well, guess what? We're going to get rid of emotion. We're going to be based on logic, and the Romulans were like, don't know how I feel about that. So they definitely, and they have this strong, like, family bond, so I don't know if they'd, be doing the nasty, be doing Ponfar in the streets, because all the little baby Romulans would see that, and they're very family-oriented. But that's...
Once a year, every baby Romulan is herded to the babysitting center, and the adults are allowed to get randy on the streets. That's Valentine's Day for them.
That's their Valentine's Day. No, so Ponfar, and there are literally certain microbes in space that can trigger Ponfar. And once it happens, I believe you have... It's actually so not fun for Vulcans, but
well, then what's the point?
Because they did this to themselves. They literally repressed themselves so much that it turned to this thing where it's like, yeah, fuck or die. You have to now. You've made it so that you have to. And they can transfer it to others, like, via a telepathic link, too, so you can,
Oh, no.
Fun for everyone.
Oh, no. That doesn't sound pleasant at all. You're, like, sitting at your navigation table, and, like, all of a sudden, like, this Vulcan comes by, presses you on the head, and you're a mess for the rest of the day.
Well, no, so what happened is, before this philosophy of logic happened to the Vulcans, they would kill each other to win mates. Like animals will fight to mate. So after the Time of Awakening, when they adopted this philosophy, they became, like, they would get married, but it's more like they're bonded when they were younger so that this wouldn't happen. So you know how in Star Trek, Spock is technically, he's predestined to be married to, have you seen that episode, Alex?
What episode?
The one where Spock goes through Ponfar.
No, I have not seen that one, surprisingly.
So he is predestined to be married to this woman. So he goes through Ponfar in the episode.
I know
and
Kirk rolls up.
Yeah, no, he insists, he's like, yeah, I'm fine, but then they're like, you're going to die. So he wants to go to Vulcan. So they take him to Vulcan. So they're bonded at youth. And, yeah, so when you go through Ponfar, you have to, like, take a mate, and you get into a big death fight. Like, you see Kirk and Spock in that episode get into a big fight, because that's what they do. Like, it's so interesting when you have Vulcans, because it feels like they have created this culture where they're like, okay, don't be emotional, but then sometimes
and then they
let
go
her
through Ponfar.
No, seriously. Or, like, intensive
It's like the purge, but for
meditation.
emotions.
No, literally. And so they do this Ponfar ritual, and it's supposed to take care of that. So you would beat this person in a fight. And then, because I know that in Spock's, like, wife, quote-unquote, she actually, this is interesting, falls in love with another Vulcan. So that's why, yeah, it's actually, so she tries to win it in that dude's favor, so she sort of screws Spock over, and then Spock ends up rolling in the dirt with Kirk, and he's fine, which is interesting. So the idea of romance differs from species to species. Yes.
If a Vulcan were to get, I hate to use this phrasing, seeing how they're descended from a feline like species, but if they were quote unquote fixed.
That's the worst thing you've ever said.
Would it get rid of that? Would they just not have pond farming?
What, if they cut their balls off?
Yeah!
I mean, they couldn't fuck, so they'd just die, I guess.
They just die?
I don't know, Alex, it's never occurred to me to be like, yeah, but what if they get neutered? They're intelligent species, Alex.
I know, but what if they seem like the type to do that to themselves?
Where would they get more Vulcans from, Alex?
They have a designated, group of breeders.
That's messed up.
Yeah. It seems like something they do, though. It's
really?
A logical thing. Yeah, it's a
No, I think underneath it all, I think they like fucking.
Well, yeah, duh.
I think that you
can't. Like anyone else.
I think that they do. Well, probably not all of them. It's a diverse species, but it's still, I think for the most part...
Sexuality's a funny thing, even in aliens.
I just think it's interesting. They have so many different ideas of romance, like Cardassians. I thought that was a really interesting...
Oh, no, I love the Cardassians.
No, it's such a good inverse in the way that they show that, humans sometimes just don't get it. The way that the role humans play in Star Trek
for
sometimes...
one very special human.
As this, stop. The role that humans play in Star Trek sometimes as, the babies of space... we go into space and we don't really know what's up, and we're like, what is happening? So, the fact that Cardassians flirt by, arguing with each other is such a fun idea, because it's, it really shows that different species have different ways of doing things. Just, I don't know. I think it's neat. I really do.
I really enjoyed that.
Alien mating rituals. That's what's up.
It's very good. And, don't even get me started on the whole, honor fights.
Oh my god, with Klingons? Well, no, the thing with Klingons that I really enjoy is you see, it depends what series you're watching, because Klingons are portrayed kind of differently sometimes, depending on what series you're watching. Definitely. Well, not just Discovery, but compare the Klingons from the original series to the Klingons from,
Deep Space Nine.
Deep Space Nine, or Next Generation even. With Worf. Think about that.
Boy.
So the thing I like about Klingons is that their relationships are, balanced, sort of, but they respect each other. There's this deep thing of, honor and respect, and you would probably, the thing I like about Klingons is that they probably never, there's not a lot of whole domestic abuse, because your partner would probably kill you. They have, but their relationships are so healthy, because, they
love and respect each other.
Taunt each other. They get into little play fights, but they genuinely love each other. I really like Klingons, for all the crap they get for being, a villain, a evil, they're the villains. I don't think that's true. I think they have a different belief system. They place more emphasis on honor and conquest, and sure, sometimes that can be a bad thing, but they love each other. And what is Valentine's Day, this special Valentine's Day episode, about, if not love?
Exactly. I just want a Klingon girlfriend. That'd be great.
And well, they're very muscular.
Yeah. Maybe so. Is there any other special special things, I don't know, just courting?
Well, Klingon mating rituals, you get into fights.
Yeah, we've discussed this. It's very good.
I know there's this one episode where I think it might be probably not Next Generation. But yeah, he slaps a Klingon, and she's like, I hope you were just trying to, I hope that was foreplay, or I'm gonna kill you. I hope that's what you were trying to, there's that one episode where it's Worf and Ezri, and they're, having this vicious fight, and then moments later they're making out. And it's the same thing with, Cardassians, 1 minute you're fighting, and I think it's just the idea of passion is different. Ezri Dax.
You mean Jadzia?
No, I mean Ezri Dax.
What?
Ezri Dax.
Okay.
That's a Deep Space Nine character. I'm not gonna spoil it for you. It's woo. But yeah, no, like Jadzia Dax gets married. No, spoiler alert. But we already warned you about spoilers. But she marries Worf, and it's this huge romantic ceremony with like
and
this
they're literally
romantic
perfect for each
speech.
other.
And it's just, oh my god. Anyway, it's actually
It's
amazing.
very good.
Love in Star Trek is amazing.
I'd like to imagine at least one human on a starship or a space station brings Valentine's Day to everyone else and is like, look, I got flowers. Why'd you get flowers? Because it's Valentine's Day. What's that? And then they have a nice little episode about that.
That's why I'm so disappointed there's no like Valentine's Day episode in Star Trek, because if there's one idea I want
so
humans
popular.
to bring to the stars, it's like this idea of like we have one day a year and we spoil each other and we love each other and then we go back to hating each other. I love humanity. And definitely like interspecies relationships in Star Trek is
Not
so
only
interesting.
that, but you
They're
got the
so
red and
interesting.
pink like color palette, which is very good. Like, so you could just bring that on board and it'd be great.
Yeah, why are all these starships gray?
Yeah, like why is there no like why isn't there custom paint jobs for starships like, you know, on like those old World War II like bombers?
Or like
With the
you paint
faces?
it and it looks like an eagle. Yeah. Why aren't Romulan
Birds of
oh
prey.
my god. Yeah. Well, it's Romulan birds of prey and Klingon warbirds, so I always get
The two of them mixed up.
yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But like
Wait.
What is it?
Is it
You're the Star Trek expert. You're supposed to know these things, DJ.
No, it's Romulan bird of prey
Yeah.
and Klingon
Bird of prey.
no, warbird.
Uh-huh.
Anyway.
Anywho,
yeah, just paint
but
them.
give
They
me a
copied
Star
off of each other.
Give me, I mean, if you don't think Captain Kirk would paint like a giant mural of himself, or like maybe Spock on the side of the USS Enterprise.
It's just a big, it's like a poorly drawn like mural of him and McCoy and Spock, and it's just best friends written on it.
And McCoy keeps trying to rub it off.
Like just frantically, like, oh my god, nobody can see this, please. There's definitely, that's what I love. I love Kirk, and I love that a lot of people try to make him out as like a womanizer.
But he's not.
But
he genuinely cares
he
about
respects women. I will fight any like nerd piss baby fuckboy about this, because I feel like, you know,
people. And
a
he has
lot
like
of
a good relationship with his exes too.
people try to turn him into this like male power fantasy. That's not
He's
Kirk.
not.
Kirk is soft. He's wonderful.
He's a soft flower boy.
I don't approve of it.
He just loves his crew, and he respects women.
I love it. You know, Star Trek is a lot of it is about love. Get over it. First interracial kiss. Kirk and Uhura.
And it was very good.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Star Trek is all about love. If you don't like, I feel like that's
Like,
one of the main messages.
got-
It's about hope and love.
And like, not to mention Sulu in the new movies
Is gay.
and it's great. Like no one person is straight in space except for Riker and O'Brien.
Riker is the only het.
No,
oh my
O'Brien
god,
is the second het.
I
but
don't
we
like-
love and
I don't like
respect
Riker
O'Brien.
though. I don't like
No,
Riker.
O'Brien-
His facial hair freaks me out.
Yeah, no, Riker is the worst. He's straight with a capital S, and O'Brien is just straight.
Oh my god, Riker.
Oh, Riker.
That's why I like the original
Worst.
series. It's just like shenanigans. It's just shenanigans. It's just fun. I love it, and I love Bones, my favorite character. So it's like it's a good time. That's what I love about Star Trek. What do you love about Star Trek? While we're on the day of love.
I love just all the alien species, even if I get them confused and don't always have all the information about them. I still find them really neat, and like all the characters are really cool too. And I just wish I had more patience to watch all the series, because I really do love it. I just am bad at watching shows.
And you don't love it enough.
Yeah.
Are you ready for our first question?
Hit me with this question. I'm pretty excited. Are they Valentine's themed? Please say they are.
They're not
so
I could not find
I'm
any
so
Valentine's
alone.
Day questions.
Please.
But
did you find
so if you want to
romance?
send us questions, you can email us at trekkieandahaf@yahoo.com because we would love your questions. We're reading Yahoos right now. So I was looking up just Star Trek questions, trying to figure out ones that, and I thought would be an interesting question to tackle. This is by Yahoo user. Something went wrong. So that's it's anonymous. I think that's what that means. Yeah, it's anonymous. I wonder why.
It's by Yahoo user. Something went wrong.
The question asker, we'll call them Spock.
Alien fucker.
Alien
69.
fucker 69420
Yeah.
asks, if they were to make a gay Star Trek movie, what would be a good title for the film? I was thinking Star Trek, The Undiscovered Orientation. What can you come up with?
Oh, that's pretty good.
And here's what I'm thinking, Alex, because I don't want us to be limited just to, like something that has to do with being LGBT+. I want us to come up with titles for porn parodies, a movie of
God.
Star Trek. Something romantic, heady, sexy, just some parodies of good old-fashioned Star Trek titles. So if you were to make a romantic 50 Shades of Grey Star Trek edition,
Oh no.
what would be some good titles for the film?
Alright. Well, the obvious one is Star Trek To Boldly Gay. That's the obvious one. So let's just get that out of the way.
50
That was
50
stewing
Shades
in
of
my head.
Cardassian Grey.
So that was the first one that immediately popped in my head when you said movie titles.
Right.
And gay in the two sentences.
Well, you can't do that. You can't just say we both start with G. This is a fun joke I'm doing.
Yeah, no, it was.
I
want
to explore this space. You want to hear some? You want to hear some of the answers for this, just to get you on the Are you sure? Are you sure you know?
Give me a couple.
I want to get the ball rolling.
All right, get that ball rolling. Get that ball rolling.
So this is
Squish.
an answer from Ned the Pie Man.
Me.
And these are just some of the ones he suggested because I really like Star Trek Voyeur.
God damn it.
And Star Trek Deep Throat 9.
No!
Yes!
You could just, I feel really sorry when you're editing this because there's just a wall of just audio that just spiked when you said that. And it was from me when I said no. So
okay,
listeners.
Just think about it. Think of all the Star Trek titles we can play with.
Star Trek. Trying to think of something for Enterprise.
Star Trek Next Generation, but it's Star Trek Sexual Liberation.
Oh shit, that's really good. Star Trek The Search for Sperm.
No!
That's a pretty good porn.
Star Trek The Search for Sperm. Yeah, no, that's excellent.
Would it Wrath? Star Trek Wrath of the Hets.
No, I'm not going to give that to you. It's not clever.
It's not clever, but I just like it.
Star Trek Dick's Ovary.
That's pretty good.
No?
That's
No?
pretty good. Wait, no? Let's think. Star Trek. Star Trek Beyond gender roles?
That's not sexual. That's not sexual at all. You didn't even try.
Okay, Star Trek Beyond something. What?
No, it's just, you didn't want to hear the other answers, but you're so bad at this.
Yeah, please give me the other answers.
What?
Please give me what other people came up
Oh
with.
my god.
I'd
No,
like to
none of them
hear.
are as good. Star Trek Deep... This is from Dan. Dan wrote Star Trek Deep Space 9.
That's not even clever. That's even worse than mine.
I thought that was clever.
Yeah, you would.
Oh my god, Kyle says Star Trek The Next Penetration.
Fuck.
The fact that you didn't come up with that
Yeah, the
is
fact
upsetting.
that I didn't come up with that, that's shit. Star Trek. Star.
Just think of all the series you can and just try.
Star Trek.
Uh-huh.
Star Trek.
Oh my god! The Wrath of Gonorrhea.
No!
Oh my god! Then then come up with something better.
Just Star Trek lesbians? Question mark?
Nope, that's not a joke. Star Trek The Final Full Frontal?
Oh, God, you're so good at this!
No, I'm not! That was bad!
Well, you're better than me, so that's something. I'm trying to think of, like, episode titles, but I've watched so little episodes. I don't have this knowledge at my disposal.
We could play probably with Star Trek Into Darkness a little bit.
Oh, I don't want to think about that.
Star Trek Into Darkness.
But with a winky face at
Into
the end.
the Darkness.
Just Star Trek, turn off the dark.
Star Trek Enterprise. Star Trek Enter Guys.
Why, God, why did I think of that one? God, there's gotta be some like pun on like BDSM in there somewhere. It's in there somewhere. I just can't find it.
What do you mean?
I just can't find it. Star Trek. Star Trek.
This is a kind of sad now, Alex.
God, there's so, like, Star Trek Dildo Space 9.
No, stop!
Dildo 69.
Dildo 69. You did it, Alex.
Star
you won
Trek
the
Dildo
game. That's the
69.
funniest thing I've ever heard.
That's all I got. I'm really sorry that I
Oh my god, you really let me down.
I know. I wasn't aware I had to, like, come up with puns this episode. You know I'm no good at, like, on-the-spot humor.
Deep Dick 9.
Shit!
Star Trek Vagina. I don't know.
I like that one.
I was leaning on you so heavily for this.
I know. Something, what about, like, alien, like, races that we just, like, make puns of? Like...
That's offensive.
Okay, you know what? That's fair. That's completely fair. What about... Yeah, You know, I am now thinking about a bunch of Star Trek characters in a porn parody, which is very funny to me.
That has to exist, right?
Yeah,
there has to be some like-minded people must have gotten together. Like, you know who's fuckable? Aliens.
Odo.
If you ever say Odo is fuckable again, I will literally hunt you down and kill you.
Well, I'm just saying he's the most vulnerable to porn.
Oh my god! No!
Yeah, because he can turn into anything. He's the most vulnerable to that.
You really think? Okay, alright, who do you think is the sexiest character?
The sexiest Star Trek.
The sexiest Star Trek character. Go.
Dax.
Dax?
Dax.
That is acceptable. I will allow it.
Alright, and with the close runner-up...
Diana Troy.
I don't know who.
Oh my god, no, I changed my vote. Data.
Bones. I like Bones. He seems huggable.
Hey, Bones definitely does seem huggable.
Also Chekhov.
and he does have a good
And Duhora.
experience with anatomy. But, hear me out, Data, android dick.
Yeah, but can't he, like, doesn't he have, wait, does he have a feelings chip? I can't remember
He
if he
has an
does.
emotions chip, and that doesn't play a part until like, you get into the series, then he gets like an emotion chip, which is kind of a cop-out. But yeah, no, he has, I think he's like a fully functioning dude.
How do we know that, though?
I read it in a fan fiction once.
Yeah, that doesn't count as canon.
No, he definitely has a dick. I really don't want to Google. I really don't want to, like, Star Trek.
Dear Dark Google, show me the forbidden Star Trek, Beepus.
Like, how fucked up would it be if I Googled it and it, like, went to images?
Yeah,
no, Alex, he had sex with someone.
What?
He did, he must have.
Can Data have babies?
No. But he was built by Song, but he's like totally, he's anatomically correct.
The fact that someone had to build him and pay
No,
special...
he was built, but he has a robot beepus.
Yeah, but like someone painstakingly designed it for him.
Are you saying you wouldn't? If you were making a robot, Alex, would you curse him to be in a world with no appendages?
I don't think I could. I don't think I'm confident enough in my skills to make one. I feel like it'd be pretty bad.
If you crafted a member.
I mean, they probably. Can androids even experience attraction like that?
Well, if you have an emotion chip, you can do anything.
Yeah, if you have an emotion chip, that's true.
If you are programmed to feel, you will feel. That's how androids work. But here's the thing, I just don't know if it's an android, can he give consent even?
Yeah, because what if he's been programmed to do that?
Think about it. It's Valentine's Day. Humans want to get it on. You know what I mean?
Is it Valentine's Day robots you can hire?
But I would feel... Okay, here's the thing. Robots are sexy. Come on. Freaking on with the robot.
I mean, anyone who says they wouldn't is lying.
Oh my god. But it's a robot. It can't,
Let's take the AI. What's her name? What's the AI from real life with the face who was in Vanity Fair? What's her name?
Dude, I don't know. I don't know anything.
She's owned by Sony, I want to say.
I don't know anything about real life, Alex. That's why we have a Star Trek podcast.
I mean, maybe, but she's like our most advanced AI, I want to say, and she has a robot body. She's pretty. She's choice.
Yes, but could she give? Here's what I'm asking. I'm saying
I'm saying
somebody pursues. Well, he has. Data has been in romantic relationships, and he's had to end those romantic relationships. He had a court meeting to discuss if he was a real if he counted as a real person, and during it, for evidence, they brought up the fact that he had kept a memento from a past relationship. So he's had relationships, but I'm saying, how can you trust the consent of an android?
I guess you have to look in their program files.
Yeah, but how can you program free will?
I don't know. That's why Star Trek's in the future, TJ.
You know what? You're right. We don't have to answer these. Yeah, these are not questions we have to answer.
Quick question before we move on to the next one.
Of course.
Least sexy Star Trek character, go. Mine's Riker.
Oh, no. Oh, I should have said Riker. I should have said Riker.
I respect Dodo as a friend.
Diana, honey, you deserve better.
Anyway, next, give me that good next question, please.
You want that next question?
I do want this next question.
Okay, well,
that doesn't involve me making
Spirit of Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's our next question from Yahoo user. Sorry, something has gone wrong. Oh my god. So Yahoo's just not going to give me the usernames of these people.
This one's from Weed Lord 666.
Give it a Star Trek name, you coward.
Romulan Ale 666.
That's
sort of like weed.
Romulan Ale, that's my thing.
I know it's your thing, but I couldn't think of any other legal ones. Bloodline.
Cardassian Canar.
Blood wine 666.
It just sounds like an emo person. Alright.
Yeah, exactly.
This question. Okay, here we go. Ahead. Star Trek fanfiction Kirk/Spock? Extra information. I've noticed that in a ton of Star Trek fanfiction, there are gay relationships. Kirk/Spock, Kirk/McCoy, Chekhov/Sulu. I was just wondering why that is so acceptable, if not expected, in this fandom, but not in others. Also, how did it start? Thanks!
Alright, well, one, no straights in space allowed. You are allowed one straight. That's all. That's all you get.
Okay.
So that's why in universe. But outside of universe, I think it was just like the first big fandom sort of thing.
Well, yeah, no, because it had a big fan base, and it was definitely full of a lot of firsts. Also,
Yeah.
I'm wondering how this person, like, just now caught on to that. Like,
Yeah, like this is the good year of our Lord 2018.
well, yeah, no, and they're just coming on, like, oh my god, this is, like, a thing people do. And it's like, yeah, we've been doing it for a really long time.
Like, of course it's acceptable. Most of us who frequent
The
the
fact
internet.
that they didn't comment
gay.
on Aurora/Chapel, what are you
Yeah, I know,
doing?
that's the best one.
Get on this bandwagon. But, like, okay, so, why is it so acceptable, if not expected, in this fandom, but not in others? How did it start?
Well, I don't think I've met any fandom that is exclusively straight. So let's just throw that out there.
Except for maybe, like,
Frasier?
why'd you say Frasier? I was gonna make fun of a new show like Riverdale. But you went and you were like,
I'm sure
Frasier,
there's... No, but I'm sure if you looked at
a
the...
show from like the 90s.
Yeah, but like, you go on that archive tag, it is almost 0%.
Why were you looking at Frasier fanfiction?
I got bored.
Oh my god. No, I mean, like, if you look at, like, Riverdale, it's a bunch of straight people watching it.
That is
like,
true.
I just don't, like, okay, so why is it so acceptable in this fandom? Is it because... I just feel like, here's the thing, it's the future.
Yeah, it's the future. Like, what? There's no homophobes in the... Well, there is in the future, but they're quickly dealt with.
They're dealt with. And, like, even in Next
Painfully.
Generation, like, I feel like the show has tried to be more open. Like, when J.J. Abrams was like, oh my god, there are no gay people in Star Trek, I'm going to make Sulu gay in the new movie. Like, that's a thing that he did. I just feel like this is definitely... People can argue that Star Trek has a political agenda and that it's sort of being too
And that it
progressive.
does.
But it's always been progressive.
Yeah, I think that's why it's so acceptable, because it's always been progressive, even when it was, like, the first interracial kiss. Like, it was always, like, much more progressive, because Gene Roddenberry was a absolute, like, gem of a man who just was like, it's the future, who cares?
And now you'll even see that, like, we have our first canon gay character on Star Trek. Well, technically 2 characters. But, yeah, Stamets and Culber from Discovery, it's like a canon relationship. So, like, I feel like this fandom has always been progressive. We've always been out there. And, like, the whole, like, Kirk-Spock dynamic, if we're going to take this one specifically, like, sure, like, Kirk and McCoy definitely, you know, like, mixed work, that whole thing. And I also think it's because Star Trek has this policy of, like, these are men that are allowed to express their affection towards each other in the show, because they're not bound by this, like, toxic masculinity. Like, Kirk and Spock genuinely, as friends, are like, I love you, like, you're my bro, and I need you. Like, just sort of, like...
you don't see that often, even, like, in today's shows, which is really just a shame, because it's
they don't,
it's a
because
good
they don't feel the
relationship to
need.
have.
And I know, like you're saying, like, they don't feel the need to pull a no homo, and that's why people ship them, and that's a problem. But, like, I just think that it's acceptable because we all in this, like, if you enjoy Star Trek, you're probably enjoying Star Trek because it is, I would argue, it is very progressive. And that's why, like, I don't know, I just think, like, their dynamic, like, Spock calling Jim Tyler is this, like, beautiful thing. And I just think, like, in the show, like, that's why. Also, it's fun.
Yeah, no, it's fun, like, and it allows people to see themselves more in shows when they ship people.
It is representation. So, like, when you have a show like Star Trek where a lot of it is nerds, a lot of it is repressed nerds, and you have this fandom that wants to see itself in these characters, obviously...
You're gonna get a lot of headcanons.
You're going to get a lot of headcanons, you're gonna get a lot of fanfiction. You just are. You just are in the spirit of Valentine's Day. What is Valentine's Day if not a reason to love each other?
Especially, like, even in the 60s, like, when the show first came out, there were, like, housewives writing fanfiction.
Yeah, no, that's what it's always been in the spirit of Star Trek, because the spirit of Star Trek is love. And what is slash fiction if not a way to express love?
Love between whomever you were struck by the creative fairy.
Now, how did it start?
How did it start?
How did it start?
I want to say it was always sort of like...
It was always... Since the show began.
No, I think it's like always sort of been mankind's thing to like write more or like want more content about their favorite characters. And who's to say if they just want to add some more like...
I know, but who wrote the Star Trek... The first Star Trek fanfiction that was like... Yeah, what if these aliens...
You see, that I don't know, but I'm assuming it's some like lady out there in her 80s by now.
And she lives with this self-satisfying knowledge that she was out there repping Spock and Kirk since day one.
Godspeed, is what I say.
Godspeed.
She did us a service. And like another thing, like it was underground, yeah, because it was the 60s, but it wasn't as underground as other like early fandoms, I want to say.
Yeah, that's another point, is that I feel like...
It wasn't discouraged.
Star Trek fans have always been, like, loud and proud about...
Yeah, like and Gene Roddenberry was also always, like, very cool about it. He's like, yeah, go ahead.
Because we love to love.
And Gene Roddenberry also loved to love.
No, that's what I mean. Like, George Takei, who played Sulu, came out as gay. Zachary Quinto, who plays Spock in the reboot movies, came out as gay. J.J. Abrams was like, oh, there was no gay characters in Star Trek? That's not okay. Now there is. Like, I just feel like it's a lot of people coming together and saying, like, let's go. And it isn't just about, like, gay love, you know, if you're feeling it. Like, you know, like, I just feel like love in Star Trek as a theme.
Like O'Brien and Kiko.
O'Brien and Keiko from Deep Space Nine have this wonderful dynamic
and
of,
Worf
like,
and
genuinely
Dax.
loving each other. And Worf and Dax have this brilliant relationship. It's all, like, these healthy relationships. And what I like about Star Trek is that they genuinely...
Data and LaForge.
Stop. They reward healthy relationships, and they have a way of using the show and satire and just sort of this way to point out unhealthy relationships and just sort of seeing, like, okay, this is what, like, genuinely, like in the, you know, I don't want to know how we could use the original series because, like, people don't really, like, Spock sort of, you know, is and doing his thing, and Kirk is
they don't really have any, like, set relationships in the original series.
Which is another reason I kind of like the original series, because it's kind of, you know, because sometimes romantic subplots, you know, but if you're watching a series, like The Next Generation had Diana, Troy, and Riker, which she deserved better, but, you know, like, it gets fun sometimes, like, you know, Beverly Crusher, and... Like, it's just fun. It's a lot of it has to do with, like, ooh, drama. Like, Deep Space Nine is just, like, well, here's what the thing is. People argue a lot about Star Trek's, like, genre. It's a soap opera.
It really
From
is.
day one, it's a soap opera.
It's a science fiction thing, but it's also a soap opera.
Well, it's just fun. It's just a fun thing.
It's kind of... The original series is kind of like the Beverly Hillbillies, but in space. If you really think
shenanigans in space, and then, like, as the series progress, I feel like they get more and more dark. Definitely. Yeah. If you're just starting out with Star Trek and you're like, oh my god, the original series is so fun and carefree and everything, and then as you go down the line and you go from, like, series to series, you're like, oh my, wow, this is really heavy.
Basically, it's like a nice chocolate, but when you bite into it, there's a pin in it.
I was going to say fruit in the middle, but you just went right in the spirit of Valentine's Day, but you just went right for the pin, huh?
Yeah.
That's how you feel?
Sometimes you gotta watch out for those counterfeit chocolate boxes, man.
Have you ever eaten chocolate with a pin in it?
That's for me to know and you to never find out.
I think a fun Valentine's thing is, like, I don't know if you know
Putting
this.
a pin in chocolate?
No! No, but, like, Vulcans get drunk from chocolate.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, they get drunk from chocolate. So, like, if it was Valentine's Day and a human wanted to share Valentine's Day, because they haven't yet, I don't think, but if they did, I don't remember it, but wants to share Valentine's Day with his alien comrades, and he's like, here, guys, because usually in Starfleet, they express that there's a lot of humans, there's a lot of Vulcans, and then some other species mixed in. But, you know, if he wants to share with his Vulcans, the Vulcans eat this chocolate, and then they get wasted, you know? Like, it's...
Yeah, and then they adopt it as their own holiday of just getting absolutely shit-faced.
Well, I think they would know. They'd be like, I can't eat chocolate. But, like, the first Vulcan to eat human chocolate must have been like, oh, shit.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
No.
Also, there's a species... We were talking about this before, but I feel like now we should mention it on the episode. The Deltans.
Oh, no.
We should have talked about this when we were talking about alien fucking. Because, like, the Deltans are this species, they're from Delta 4, and they fuck so much that when they enter Starfleet, they have to take a vow of celibacy so they don't fuck the other species to death. That's a real thing. And
they're bald.
They're just bald. They're just like bald humans.
human.
And they're the fuck aliens. It's actually, I love this show. It's ridiculous and silly, and nothing makes
I'd
sense.
like to meet the writer who came up with them.
Oh my god, that's a good Valentine's Day. Get yourself some... What is it? What are the chocolates? Is it Delvian chocolates? What's the famous chocolates in Star Trek? You know what I'm talking about?
Space Lindor.
No, shut up. But like... yeah, it is. It's Delvian chocolate. Get some of that. Get your Deltan significant other.
And whoever else wants to join you on your fun night.
Go into your quarters, have a good Valentine's Day.
Get some flowers, get some candles.
Get some alien flowers, get some...
There is actually a candle on Amazon that is apparently Ponfar scented.
That's nasty. What does it smell like?
I don't know, I didn't buy it, but I saw it. Vulcan sweat. So, if any, like, you get one of those, and then your Vulcan crewmates are very confused.
Oh, I was gonna say some Star Trek pickup lines at the beginning of the episode, but I forgot.
Oh, well, say them now. While we're ending out the episode, a nice little list.
Well, I was gonna say, is your phaser set so stunning?
Oh, that's really good.
Well, that was a good one, I know.
That is a really good one. Got any more?
That was that was my good one. Beam me up.
How long did that take you to come with? How long did those take you to come up with?
Well, I was thinking, for some reason I kept trying to think of how to phrase it. Like, stunning, you know? Or like, you know...
And on that note...
trying to be romantic.
We're gonna end out the episode now. I want you all to have a lovely Valentine's Day.
Have a good Valentine's Day with your alien significant other.
Yeah, and if you don't have an alien significant
other...
Have a
good Ponfar.
Have a good Valentine's Day anyway, because even if you're not dating anyone, like our lonely asses...
You can watch Star Trek and dream.
Yeah, and you can just get all that
good
chocolate, then very next day.
Watch some Star Trek, and
then go to Target the next day. Your Space Target.
Go to Space Target. They're gonna have some space sales on some space chocolate.
Yep.
And just...
And make sure they don't have pins in them.
And have fun with your mating rituals.
Ew.
Yeah, that's what, like, Odo was from Deep Space Nine, said that humans were obsessed with mating rituals.
You know what? He's not wrong.
Tell me he's wrong.
He's never wrong.
Freud is rolling in his grave.
Bye, everybody.
Bye!
Hey there, thanks for listening.
If you enjoyed this podcast, you can subscribe to us on YouTube or look us up on SoundCloud. Just search Trekkie and a Half.
Or email us at trekkieandahalf@yahoo.com to send us your questions.
We hope you enjoyed it. We sure hope we boldly went.
Bye.
See you next time.